Ever wondered why you're drawn to stronger partners? Stick around because we're uncovering the truth behind this common attraction today. Welcome to Cheap Talk. So, have you ever been drawn to someone, like really drawn to someone because they just seem so competent, like they had it all figured out?
Oh, absolutely. It's that boo thing, right? Admiring strength, being attracted to power or competence. Totally get it. Who isn't impressed by someone who's at the top of their game?
Exactly. And the article we're looking at today really dives into this whole idea of foo in relationships. It's like we're wired to seek out the best, right? Evolutionary speaking, it makes sense. Stronger partners, better chances of survival, passing on good genes, the whole nine yards.
Yeah, survival of the fittest and all that. Plus, let's be honest, being with someone impressive can be a real ego boost. Makes you feel good about yourself, like you've also got something special going on if they chose you.
Right? Like, my partner's amazing, so I must be pretty amazing too. It's that self-expansion thing the article talks about. You kind of absorb some of their awesomeness. But there's a flip side, isn't there? Hmm.
Oh, for sure. The article makes a good point about the potential downsides, like what happens when that strength turns into control, or when you start putting them on such a pedestal that you lose yourself a little? Not so great then, huh?
Not at all. You can end up infantilized, like the article mentions, stuck in a childlike state, always looking up to them, unable to make your own decisions, and then there's the power imbalance. It can get messy. I'm strong, powerful, and earn more than you, so my opinion matters more.
Ugh, that's a recipe for disaster. And what about those hexagonal warriors the article mentions? The ones who are good at everything? Sounds amazing on paper, but that kind of success often comes at a price. They might be workaholics, not emotionally available, things like that.
Yeah, that can be a real catch-22 because on paper they are your perfect type. Like if you are a business owner, you might be attracted to business owners since you share the same goals and daily struggles. But what if the downside is that they just aren't there for you? Can you sacrifice your daily well-being for their success? It is indeed a tough call to make. Hmm.
Totally. The article also touches on the importance of recognizing their vulnerabilities. Because, let's face it, nobody's perfect. Even the strongest people have their weak moments. Seeing and accepting that is crucial for a healthy relationship.
Absolutely. And you also have to watch out for controlling behaviors. Just because someone is successful or powerful doesn't mean they're a good partner. In fact, sometimes that drive for dominance can spill over into the relationship in a negative way.
Right, and if you see any red flags there, run, don't walk, run. The article makes a really good point about learning from their strengths rather than just admiring them passively, emulate them, try to level up yourself. That's a much healthier approach.
For sure. Don't just admire the strong, strive to be strong yourself. Now, before we go any further, a quick reminder to like and subscribe if you're enjoying this deep dive into Uhu. We appreciate your support. Now, what were we saying? Oh, right, becoming your own Niyu, your own ideal. It's not about finding someone better than you. It's about becoming the best version of yourself.
I totally agree. It can be a great motivator, but it's crucial to find a balance. Admire strength, yes, but don't let it blind you to potential red flags or prevent you from building your own strength and independence. So if you are enjoying this episode, go give us a 5-star and subscribe to our podcast so we can make more meaningful conversations, because here at Cheap Talk, we make you think about what you might be missing in your daily life.
So picking up on this whole becoming your own Jiva idea, it really resonates, doesn't it? Like instead of constantly chasing someone else's shine, you focus on polishing your own.
Totally. It's like that saying, be the person you want to attract, right? But, the article also mentioned the evolutionary aspect of FUA. Like, it's not just societal pressure, there's a biological component too.
Oh yeah, for sure. Survival of the fittest, finding the strongest mate to ensure the survival of your offspring. I mean, that makes sense, but how does that play out in modern relationships? It's not like we're fending off saber-toothed tigers anymore, though dating in your 30s sometimes feels like it. Just kidding. Hmm.
True. Okay, but seriously, the studies mentioned in the article are pretty fascinating, like that Buston and Emlyn one from 2003 about how our self-perception influences our mate preferences. So if you see yourself as capable and successful, you're more likely to be drawn to someone similar.
Right. It's not just about them being awesome, it's about how their awesomeness reflects back on you. It validates your own sense of self-worth. Kind of like, I'm with them, so I must be pretty great too.
Exactly. And the Auron et al. Research from 2013 on self-expansion adds another layer. Being with someone you admire can actually broaden your own horizons, your sense of who you are. You learn from them, you grow.
Yeah, that's the positive side of Fu. It can be really inspiring, but it can also be a slippery slope if you're not careful. Remember the part about infantilization? It's like you start relying on them so much that you lose your own agency.
Yeah, definitely. The article makes a good point about maintaining a balance. Admire, yes, be inspired, absolutely, but don't lose yourself in the process.
So if you're enjoying our deep dive into Ru, be sure to hit that subscribe button and leave us a review. It really helps us out. And spread the word. Okay, so back to the topic. Where were we? Yes, the balance between admiration and independence.
Right. It's about recognizing that even the most impressive people have their flaws, their vulnerabilities, and that's okay. Nobody's perfect, not even those hexagonal warriors.
So, this whole idea of being drawn to a dominant partner, it's more complex than it seems, right? It's not just about like 50 Shades of Grey fantasies.
Right. This study, The Thrill of Loving a Dominant Partner, really digs into the psychology behind it. It connects dominance preferences to things like sensation seeking and anxiety, which is super interesting.
Yeah, I mean, on the surface, it seems kind of straightforward. Some people are into dominance, some aren't. But this research suggests there's a lot more going on beneath the surface. Hmm.
Totally. They talk about how sensation seeking, that need for novelty and excitement, can play a role. Like maybe the appeal of a dominant partner is tied to that craving for intense experiences. What do you think?
Yeah, that makes sense. It's like the dynamic itself creates a certain level of thrill, maybe? A bit of unpredictability, which can be exciting for some people, almost like a roller coaster or something.
Right? And then there's the anxiety piece of the puzzle. The study actually explored the relationship between preference for a dominant mate and trait anxiety. Now that's where things get really interesting.
Yeah, how does that fit in? You'd think folks with higher anxiety might be less drawn to dominant personalities, right? Maybe wanting someone more reassuring. I'm curious what the study says on that. Hmm.
Well, it's not quite that simple. The findings suggest there can be a correlation between anxiety and preferring a dominant partner. One theory is that a dominant partner might provide a sense of security, maybe? Like they take charge, make decisions, which can be appealing if you're prone to anxiety. Almost like you have someone who will steer the ship.
Oh, interesting. So it's not necessarily about liking the anxiety, but maybe seeing a dominant partner as a way to manage it?
Yeah, it's almost like they're thinking, I may worry a lot, but they are able to handle any problem that may come our way. Possibly. I mean, that's just one interpretation, but it definitely adds a layer of complexity.
For sure. It makes you think about all the different motivations that could be at play. It is not always cut and dry. And it highlights the importance of, understanding yourself and what you're looking for in a relationship. Hmm.
Absolutely. Knowing your own tendencies, whether it's sensation seeking, anxiety, or something else entirely, can help you make healthier choices in partners. So, if you're enjoying this exploration of relationship dynamics, hit that subscribe button and leave us a review. It really helps us bring you more of these thought provoking conversations.
So we were talking about all the different reasons someone might be drawn to a dominant partner, but this article, Mate Retention Strategies, takes it a step further, right? It looks at how dominance oriented and prestige oriented partners try to, well, keep their partners.
Yeah, and it's not just about like, I'm dominant, so you stay. It delves into specific strategies, which is fascinating, and they tie it back to evolutionary psychology, of course.
Right? Because mate retention isn't just a modern thing. It has its roots in, like, ensuring the survival of your offspring, passing on your genes, all that jazz. Hmm.
Totally. So the article differentiates between dominance and prestige, right? Like one's about power and control, and the other is about admiration, respect, being looked up to. How do those play out in mate retention strategies, though? Do you have any examples?
Well, for dominance oriented individuals, it might involve things like jealousy, possessiveness, maybe even coercion in extreme cases like you're mine and you're not going anywhere. Not exactly healthy, but the article does mention it.
Yeah, yikes. That's the dark side for sure. Whereas prestige oriented partners might use strategies like resource display, right? Showing off their success, providing for their partner, maybe even philanthropy.
Exactly. It's like, look at everything I can offer you. Why would you ever leave? Which, can be attractive, but it also kind of sets up a weird power dynamic too, doesn't it? Hmm.
It can, for sure. It creates this kind of dependency, maybe, and that always gets a bit messy. Oh, and by the way, if you're finding this discussion insightful, Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to Cheek Talk for more deep dives into relationship dynamics. We really appreciate your support.
Totally. We love having it all here. Now, where were we? Oh, yeah, the potential downsides of prestige-based mate retention.
Right, because even if it's not outright coercion, there's still a subtle form of control there, isn't there? Like, I provide for you, so you owe me something. Loyalty, obedience, whatever. It can get a bit murky.
Oh, absolutely. And the article touches on something really interesting, the idea that these strategies aren't always conscious. Like, people aren't necessarily thinking, I'm going to use resource display to keep my partner. It can be more instinctual almost.
Right, it's like these deep-seated evolutionary drives bubbling up to the surface. And it is something that is hard to fight off. Fascinating stuff. Though I am curious, what do they say about the evolutionary side of it? Do they go into specific evolutionary pressures that shaped these behaviors?
Oh, they do. They talk about how, in ancestral environments, these strategies might have increased reproductive success. Like, a dominant partner might have been better at protecting their mate and offspring from rivals, while a prestigious partner might have been better at providing resources.
Right, that makes sense in a, prehistoric context. But how does that translate to modern relationships? We're not exactly fighting off woolly mammoths anymore, are we? Unless you count rush hour traffic. Though I guess the competition for partners can still feel pretty fierce sometimes, huh?
True. Okay, so the article also talks about how these strategies can manifest differently depending on gender. Like, men might be more likely to use resource display, while women might be more likely to enhance their appearance or signal their fidelity.
Oh, that's interesting. Is that based on societal expectations, or is there an evolutionary basis for those gender differences too?
Well, the article suggests it's a bit of both, actually. Like, there might be some evolutionary roots, but cultural norms definitely play a role as well. And before we get too deep into that, a quick shout out to our listeners. If you're digging this conversation, be sure to leave us a 5-star review and tell your friends about Cheat Talk. It really helps us out.
Totally. We appreciate your support. So, wrapping up, it seems like this whole mate retention thing is pretty complex, right? It's not just about being dominant or prestigious, it's about a whole range of strategies, both conscious and unconscious, influenced by both evolution and culture. It's something to definitely be mindful of in our own relationships.